Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
Welcome into Inside Arkansas Live, folks, as we are live from SNOOKERS here in Rhode Island, the Providence area, getting ready for the NCAA Tournament action. I'm John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, fellas, best day of the year, best time of the year. We're here at SNOOKERS in Rhode Island. We got college basketball. We got the NCAA Tournament on all these TVs here. It's setting up. We already got somebody getting smoked over here, Creighton putting it to Louisville, but you know what? Vibes have been high all week, but man, they are the highest they've ever been today. How are we feeling?
I love it. I love being the center of attention. I mean, the TV right in front of us doesn't have a game on, but it's got the first take presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Who needs to win a second title more, Tom Izzo or John Calipari?
It's a very important question.
The man is always in the news. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm appreciating for the sake of my bracket what Creighton's doing to Louisville right now. Told everybody before Selection Sunday that Louisville was fraudulent. That was the matchup I wanted Arkansas to get so bad, and this is exactly why I felt that way, if anybody was wondering. But this is my favorite day of the year, man. It's like Christmas morning or whatever. I absolutely love it. Wall-to-wall March Madness action, and the Hogs play tonight. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful thing. It's always nice, like these moments here where obviously when the game gets here, we're going to be nervous. We're going to be all tight. The anxiety is going to be kicking in. But right now, for the next 5-6 hours, we're just kind of hanging out, enjoying the vibes, soaking it all in. We're in that pregame territory, and it's always fun. I almost wish we could just stay here and just like not ever have to play the game. Just kind of live in this moment because it's a fun one. Is it fair to say that it took you guys a few minutes to lock in this morning? Curtis, everywhere we go, Curtis always gets up and runs. This morning, I asked you guys how the vibes were, and like nobody responded. I was a little nervous. I felt like you guys were a little slow starting this morning, but we're picking it up, though. We're picking it up a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, the reason that maybe my vibes weren't so high is, one, I had just woken up, and two, there was a lot of stuff that needed to go correctly and go right to make sure we got here, to make sure we had the equipment set up, to make sure the internet was good, to make sure that I have that cable that I ordered that's coming in on time. There's a lot of things that were just on my mind, but everything's hitting on all cylinders. So now I'm feeling great. It just took a while, though. Just once you get to that point, you can start really feeling good about it.
That's a perfect time. And by the way, it wasn't no slow start for me this morning, although I thought that you were John when you were talking to us this morning. So I was completely thrown off because I couldn't tell your voices apart, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
I just woke up, in fairness. But no, man, got a good run in, feeling good. You were just talking about everything needing to go right and get set up and all that. Good time to mention Pot at the Palace post-game show tonight. It's happening. It always happens. We can't do it there at the arena. There's going to be another game going on. We're going over to Union Station Brewing to do it. Give us a little bit of time. We usually start right after the game ends. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's about a 5-minute walk over there. We got to get set up. So that post-game show is going to start 15, 20 minutes after the game. So hang tight. But we'll go over there, we'll get set up, and we'll get rolling. It's going to be a really good time. So just a heads up for everybody who's going to be yelling at us in the chat if we don't start right away. We know, but it's all worth it.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot to discuss here on the show today as we are live from SNOOKERS in Rhode Island. And already seen a couple Razorback fans show up here, but we're going to get into what to watch, presented by Bryant Technologies, of course. We'll also look a little bit at some of the specials that went on with BetSaracen in the NCAA Tournament. We'll get to your chats, too, folks, and get to them as much as possible, especially the good ones as well. And we're going to have some fun just talking and watching games and reacting in real time to some of the action that's going on. But, of course, everybody was wanting to know about Arkansas and Kansas. We've talked about this game pretty much every day since it was announced that this would be the matchup. We got to see practices yesterday. We got to see and hear from the coaches yesterday. I know that we can look at betting lines. I think BetSaracen has it between 4.5 and 5.5. It's kind of gone all over the place. But just overall, the confidence level from Razorback fans, I feel like is high, which is weird. I don't know how I feel about it, but I know our confidence is high in this game against Kansas. But I feel like the fan base usually have this PTSD of, we're going to lose, we're going to screw it up, blah, blah, blah. Seems like their confidence is kind of high, too, where they're going in feeling like they're going to win this game. Simple as that.
A team is often a reflection of its coach, and a fan base is often a reflection of its team. And those guys are portraying a lot of confidence right now. We talked about yesterday how they passed the vibe test in pretty much every single way you can do it. Does that mean that Arkansas is going to go out there and beat Kansas tonight just because they had good vibes at practice yesterday? No, of course not. But they feel good. You could tell they feel good. We've been talking about it, and I think people are kind of I think they like where this team is at right now. And I'm glad. I trust me, I take this over the alternative all day. But it's kind of cool to see Razorback fans having some, being able to puff their chest out a little bit and having some confidence, even when they're the underdog. I think there's something to be said for this fan base just feeling like when they can have a reason to put a chip on their shoulder a little bit, it's just different, man. I love this so much more than if Arkansas was, a 3 seed playing a 14 or whatever. I love this. The 10-7 thing is absolutely perfect for me, and I think that helps.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that is kind of talking this fan base and us really into having that confidence. One, the matchup with Kansas. One, you look over at Kansas. Anytime you see Kansas in the NCAA tournament, you kind of think of, Bill Self, all the great runs they've been on. But I think we all agree this isn't your father's Kansas team. This isn't a typical blue blood, one of the best teams in the country, super well-rounded, trending in the right direction. This is a Kansas team that is kind of going down a little bit. And this Razorback team, we feel like, 1-6 of their last 8, feeling pretty good. Feels like they're on opposite trajectories. All that goes out the window once the ball gets tipped tonight. Then it's just 0-0. Whoever wins is whoever wins. But I think from a vibe standpoint, a lot of the fans probably have some confidence in that. And, of course, you beat Kansas in the last NCAA tournament you were in, a better Kansas team than this one. And I think there's a lot of Razorback fans who feel like this is a better Razorback team than the one that beat that Kansas team. And so you got the win in the exhibition, you get the win in the tournament, you got the fact that Kansas has kind of dwindled down the stretch a little bit and Arkansas has come on strong. I also think there's a little something to be said, and I never thought I'd feel this way with John Calipari as our head coach. It almost feels like Arkansas has nothing to lose, which isn't true because if they lose, we're going to get clowned, we're going to be mad, people are going to yell at us. All that's true, but like we were talking about yesterday, when you're around this team, they don't get that feeling that they have this dark cloud hanging over them. They have all this pressure to perform. I think the way the season is played out for the fan base, kind of talking themselves into this game, it's more just like, hey, this team started 0-5. They looked like they were going to be a disaster for a lot of the year. The fact that we're here, it's kind of like that, hey, let's just see what we can make happen now that we're here. I think those teams are the ones you always fear in sports. The team that's underachieved, that has nothing to lose, and Arkansas kind of checks both of those boxes. I think that's part of why this fan base has a lot of confidence going into this matchup.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because obviously in the preseason, everyone felt pretty good about this team. But right now, in this moment, after following this team, covering this team and everything, is this the best we have felt about this team this season? Like right at this moment? Because there's times where you felt confident going into a certain game. Maybe it didn't go well. There's times that I know I did not feel confident at all, like that Kentucky game going into it, but they won. But right now, where it stands compared to the actual season itself, is this the best we have felt about this team right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was trying to think of a time real quick there when Arkansas had, maybe all 9 guys available and Thero was out there when we really felt good, but that's when they sucked.
Yeah.
So I think I'm in for that. Even with the kind of heartbreaking loss or whatever there against Ole Miss in the SEC tournament, I just like the way that they're playing, very connected, and I also like that the offense has started to open up some, which is really cool because they were in this mode where like sometimes they could get it going a little bit and they'd score, but a lot of times we were grinding into the mid 60s, man. But say what you want about the team getting better when Boogie Flan was out of the lineup. Thero leaves the lineup. They've been way better offensively, and we talked about the spacing and everything there. That makes me feel good because as great as it is to have a top 20 defense, you got to score points, man. And we've seen Arkansas. I think back to that New Mexico State game in the NCAA tournament a few years ago. That was just such a slog fest, and teams are a little bit tight coming out. You're getting used to the rims. We're seeing it right now with Purdue a little bit in this game.
Yeah.
And I like that Arkansas has been on a little bit of a heater on the offensive end coming into this thing, and hopefully that carries over. They shot it well at practice yesterday.
Well, and, to that point, like, anytime Arkansas's had big wins, not that it's been immediately followed by a loss, because I was trying to think about that. I'm like, when was another time where you felt really good? Obviously, you beat Kentucky, you feel good. You follow that up with a win on the road in Texas. That felt pretty good, but it wasn't long after that where you get, smacked by South Carolina, and then the Adu Thero injuries kind of in there as well. So even in those moments, I don't know if we felt as confident as we do now. And I definitely think, again, we keep coming back to the vibes. From a chemistry standpoint, from a just attitude, from a just how the team feels, I think this is definitely the best that we've felt going into a game. But as we've said with this team all year, because I saw Michelle earlier being like, oh, Andrew's being a jinx. No, I'm not being a jinx. I'm just talking about how we feel. But that's the thing with this team is that they never really do what you expect them to do, good or bad. we've never gone into a game really knowing how they were going to play, and that's kind of how we are tonight. One, it's just the NCAA tournament; you never know. But this team is not. It's not been a predictable journey the whole way through.
Well, and I'll throw this way too, and we'll get to your chats, folks, here in a bit. But I think about just this season and about a lot of the games in this particular season. I don't remember a time that there's been a more mentally draining and exhausting team to watch, where you think you know them going into a game and you don't. You think you got a team beat and you don't. You think you got a big lead and you're going to take care of business because you could play a great first half, and you don't because you play a bad second half. You think this team is cooked in the first half because they couldn't hit anything, and then they don't. They come out like there has never been a more, to your point, unpredictable team that I have ever seen in Razorback basketball, which has made it like I feel like I've aged so much in every single game this year, because it's just the games that should not be difficult end up being difficult. The games that should be extremely difficult end up being easier than what you thought, and you just don't really know what to think. You don't really know what to say. You don't really know what to expect out of this team, and it's just worn on you so much to where you're kind of going into it like, hey, it doesn't matter what I think because this team is not going to do what I expect. They're not going to play the way I feel like they should, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. So it's almost like people have just tuned it out and deleted it, where they're like, we're not even going to try to feel like any one way or the other because it doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what we feel. It doesn't matter. We just have to watch the game and just hopefully in real time react to a positive victory.
Well, they have been predictably unpredictable, man. This Razorback ain't going to change its snout. If Arkansas gets out there and gets a double-digit lead, just pretend like it's not even like it didn't even happen. It's a tie game. It's a tie game at that point because you already know exactly how it's going to go down there. But it is true, man. It's tough when you talk about them every single day because you try to be you try to be on point with what you're saying, but they have been very, very hard to predict. And hell, after your dialogue right there, John, I'm thinking, wow, I was feeling really good about this game, and he's right though. Every time I do, they kind of sneak up on us with some nonsense. But the ebbs and flows within the individual games themselves are a thing too. I really want to see. We had a Razorback fan come here and talk to us before we got started, and I thought he made a really good point about. Yeah, like Arkansas's not a team that turns it over a ton. Like that number's not very high. But sometimes they get those weird starts at the beginning of games where DJ looks like he's a little bit unfocused, and they've got some live ball turnovers early, driving into nothing, and just get out to a real sloppy start, or they miss, their first 7 or 8 threes. And can we just avoid that tonight?
Yes,
please. It's cliche to always say, well, you got to get off to a hot start. I'm not saying they need to jump out on a 12-2 run or anything like that.
Would be nice.
But settling into the game as quickly as possible, see a couple shots, go through the net, and just kind of dig into the meat and potatoes of the game is what I'm looking for here. No nonsense early.
What's interesting also about this team is that we've seen so many different iterations of it. Early in the year, we felt like we had a good idea of what was going to happen, and then Nelly Davis stunk. Jonas Adu missed time. You had injuries with those guys. Then you kind of feel like you get everyone back. Then Boogie goes down, and so we saw this team adjust and play a different brand of basketball. Then Jonas Adu started to play pretty well. There was a stretch where Big Z was like the best player on the team for like 2 weeks. They've gone through like 9 different iterations, and now Thero's exit kind of forced this team to change its stripes again. And now you're mixing in Boogie back, so this is a completely different iteration. And I think what makes this interesting is that, obviously John Calipari has tons of NCAA tournament experience. Arkansas as well has plenty of NCAA tournament experience. But we don't really have anything to go off of in terms of what John Calipari and Arkansas look like together in the NCAA tournament. A lot of times going into these big games, you have the recent history to lean on. When we went into an NCAA tournament 2 years ago with Muss, we had that experience of, hey, this team, they grind out these games. They play with toughness. They find a way to win on this stage. We kind of have that identity. We don't really know, of course, all of BBN says, Cal, he never wins tournament games, which we know is not true. But this is kind of our first time going through this with this team, specifically this iteration of the team that's going to have Boogie Flan coming off the bench and going to have Adu Thero out, and we'll see how everyone's health looks. We'll see what Big Z, there's just so many question marks going into every game. And so I think that's part of what kind of makes this fun for this Razorback fan base to enjoy this is, again, you're not kind of weighed down by, oh, crap, we lost our last 2 tournament games. We got to do this. This is a clean slate a little bit with Calipari, with this team. And I do really think, not that Arkansas doesn't have anything to lose, but they have that kind of feel to them. And I think it's just the way this unique season has played out has led to us feeling this way about this team. And so I think it's weird for us because we talk about them every day. trying to predict it and trying to figure out what this team is going to do any given stretch is pretty much impossible. So I think we just got to strap in, buckle up, make sure our roller coaster seatbelt is tied down. We pull the strap and everything when they tell us to, and we don't fly out. You just got to hang on for this roller coaster because it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, this game tonight's going to probably be as bumpy as our flight here into Providence. I mean, it's going to be one of those things. But we'll get to your chats, folks. Again, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us as we are live here from Snookers in Providence. But real quick, want to ask the Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by Alumni Hall. Talk about confidence, but they have the #1 Razorback apparel that we're wearing. All that stuff you can find there. You can shop them online at InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. Use that promo code HOGSBY20. And you get 20% off your first purchase. And actually, all your purchases, 20% off. That's a lot. That's a great deal, and especially for the baseball season, for the NCAA tournament, all that good stuff. Get it here at Alumni Hall, right there in Fayetteville, 3417 North College Avenue, which, again, we're hoping to see a lot of Razorback apparel here today. But simple question. We're talking about confidence. Do you think Arkansas wins? It's a very simple question. As of right now, the very accurate polling says 79% of Razorback fans say yes, they're going to win this game.
Yeah,
so
it should be 100% of Razorback fans saying yes.
It
but
should
I
be.
think that poll is skewed by some other people infiltrating your
that's
your algorithm.
You got to have like a was it a margin of error in there to kind of add to the percentages?
Yeah, for sure. But no, I mean I really do. I feel good about it. I think it's going to be a great game either way. But I like a lot of things about this matchup for Arkansas. I like the trajectory that they have been on more than I like the trajectory that Kansas has been on. I do. I feel good about it. I'll be anxious to see how things look when Boogie comes back out there on the floor, because it is weird to reintegrate a player after so long on this stage. Doesn't mean Boogie's a bad player, not a winning player, or anything like that. But how smooth is that transition immediately when he enters the game? Because that could be a huge boost for Arkansas, or it could be a one rotation, and then you're kind of like, I don't know. Remember how they did Nick Smith?
Yeah.
A couple times he would return. He'd play for like 5 minutes, and you're like, maybe next game. We'll see how that looks. I'm anxious about that, but I do. I like the matchup. I like where Arkansas is at, comparatively speaking here. But like you said a while ago, Andrew, that's all great when the ball tips up. Then all bets are off.
You don't get to lean on. Well, we've
Exactly.
been playing well lately.
Something to be said for the new season thing.
Yeah.
No, there definitely is. And I think really it's like when we talk about how is Boogie going to, work out, how are they going to, handle the big man rotation, there's really just not that much time to figure that kind of stuff out. It's like you just got to go out there and play. And so if Boogie plays for 3 minutes and stinks, it's like I wouldn't be stunned if he just didn't go back in the game.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really have time to kind of make sure all the mouths are fed, make sure everyone's happy. It's like you're just trying to play basketball every minute of the game. There needs to be that urgency, and I think some people in the chat have talked about this, the dry spells that Arkansas goes on, those 5+ minute things where you have that lapse in focus or you kind of get through a lull. There's really no time for that, and so I think in this particular setting, if you come out flat, if you come out weird and you're tense or whatever, that's kind of on you, there's not really any time for that. When we talk about the matchup with Kansas, I think Arkansas is going to win this game, and part of why I think they're going to win this game, we were listening to Bill Self the other day, and he had a sentence that I loved. He said, if we can play through Hunter Dickinson, we can win. And Hunter Dickinson's a talented player. He's been in college for 17 years. He's a guy that can dominate games. We've seen him do it his entire career. Seen him do it at 2 different schools. I think if Kansas commits to that, who by the way, Hunter Dickinson, been banged up, right? Like if they're force feeding him, we've seen this happen with Arkansas a few times where teams kind of like force feed matchups that they think are good. Seems like Kansas looks at this Arkansas interior, looks at Big Z, looks at Adu, who's been in and out of the lineup, and is like, hey, we can probably exploit this. I think that might be a little bit overblown because I think when Adu is playing to his standard, and even Z offers some rim protection there, I don't know if Kansas is necessarily going to just be able to impose their will down low the way that they think. But I think if they're committed to doing that and they're kind of getting Hunter Dickinson a ton of post-ups and kind of icing out other guys, I think that's actually a good recipe for Arkansas. It would remind me of the Kentucky game where that Amari Williams guy went off, and they were kind of doing that, but they never got Kobe Brea going. They never got some of their shooters going. And so I think Kansas, if they're committed to force-feeding Hunter Dickinson, it's going to be up to these Arkansas bigs to be ready for that challenge. I think Jonas Adu, it's crazy that we're saying this because 3 weeks ago we thought he was completely useless.
Yeah.
I actually feel pretty good about his ability. Not that he's going to shut down Hunter Dickinson, but if you just contain him a little bit and they continue to force-feed him, I think that's going to help Arkansas in this matchup. And I think Arkansas, if they shoot the ball the way that they've had a lot of those 8 for 21 type of shooting games.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I don't need them to hit 15 threes.
Yep.
Just be pretty efficient, make some shots, make your free throws for the most part. They got to get the right guys to the free throw line. I actually do think Kansas, if they're committed to playing bully ball with Hunter Dickinson, it lowers their offensive ceiling.
If there were ever a game where I was – because I'm very much on the, dude, shoot some threes. You know, like I'm all about modernizing the game and stuff. If there were ever a time where I was like, hey, don't actually shoot that many, it would be a game like this, because when guards are able to get downhill and really challenge Kansas off the bounce, that's when they do struggle defensively. And they're a good defensive team, but that's one of their flaws. And you think about DJ Wagner with Arkansas, Nelly getting more comfortable putting it on the floor. Carter just so strong with those middle drives. You got downhill Bill. I mean, there's a lot of guys who can take you off the bounce and get to the rim. So I'm looking for that. And to your point, Andrew, when you said about Bill Self, if he's saying, oh yeah, we can win the game if we're able to play through Hunter Dickinson, that tells me you don't trust your guards on the other end of the floor. And I don't blame him based on what I've seen this year outside of Zeke Mayo from maybe a consistent scoring perspective.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, we'll get to your chats, and hey, they changed the channel for us over here, so this is good. So now we got it. Not that I didn't want to continue to hear the debate of who should win a title more between Calipari and Tom Izzo.
Why are we doing that?
Because it's first take, man. It's like they always got to do stupid stuff like that. But either way, it's going to be a great thing. And this will be a final thing to say because I know we got to get to the chat. Two things actually. One, you guys know how much I love Muss. Muss is my guy. I love Muss, but for whatever reason, maybe it's stupid, but I trust what Cal's going to do with Boogie Flynn more than I would trust Muss with what happened with the Nick Smith situation. Maybe, again, I'm looking at it through a lens. Maybe that's the case, but I just have this confidence more so that Cal would be able to make it the right way and fit it. Not to say that Muss failed at it or anything. I'm just saying I feel like he's in a better position to do that, number one. And number two, I am going to take positive vibes all day today because we talked about it's unpredictable. I'm taking the higher road and being excited about it because, if I get disappointed, I get disappointed. But I'm not going to let my disappointment lead up to the game be that way. Yeah. It's fun. It's the NCAA tournament. It's going to be fun no matter what. So let's just keep those vibes high. But
can I respond to your Boogie Fland take for 1 second? Because I agree with it. I agree with the Cal side of it because I think Cal won from a just getting the most out of his players' standpoint. Weirdly enough, I feel like that's something he does. He kind of handles these personalities. He's handled big egos his entire career, whereas Muss maybe doesn't love the handling the ego battle. Like if there's a thing that he doesn't like as a head coach, it's when he has a player who kind of has a little bit of that ego. And so I think with this standpoint, Nick Smith is a very different situation than Cal Boogie. I also think Boogie, despite being young for his age, I don't even know if he's turned 18 yet. Don't even know if he can buy a pack of cigs yet. Very mature kid. Very, understands the assignment. All the quotes he's been saying about how he doesn't want to disrupt the rhythm and all that. I actually think Boogie Fland is a little bit more mature for his age at this stage of his career than Nick Smith maybe was, which I know Boogie wasn't playing, great basketball the last time we saw him. But this is a pretty bright kid, pretty mature guy that has a good head on his shoulders. Not that Nick Smith doesn't. I just think Boogie is actually more equipped, to your point, to handle this. And I think Cal has history doing stuff like this all the time.
All right, let's. Do you have a point?
Well, I was just to close on that. When we talked to Boogie in the locker room yesterday, we asked him point blank all those questions about shaking off the rust, coming back, trying to get reintegrated in a moment like this. I asked him flat out about hey, listen, you probably heard Joe Lunardi. You probably heard these national guys who have said Arkansas is not going to make a run because Boogie's coming back, and that's going to screw things up. How do you feel about that? I mean, we put him on the spot with all those things. Calm, cool, collected, not sweating it, big smile on his face. Really like, to your point, his maturity and just his ability to kind of roll with the punches there. He ain't worried about it, and every one of his teammates that we asked about him coming back, big old smile on their face, and they're excited to have him. So that is good. That is a good thing for sure.
Except for maybe one player that we talked about that maybe has a weird vibe about his minutes, but we won't get into that.
Yeah,
we'll just let the game play out. We'll just let the game play out the way it is. We'll get to your chat, folks, as part of What to Watch, presented by Bryant Technologies. It's dedicated to delivering high-quality network infrastructure and security camera solutions, which they take pride in all of their exceptional workmanship and commitment to keeping your business operations seamlessly connected and secure. Whether it's structured cabling, security camera installation, digital signage, TV mounting, all of it, they have you covered. They even service the entire state of Arkansas as well as Arkansas bordering states. So not just here in the great state of Arkansas, but anywhere around, they're going to have you taken care of so they can help you out with all of your network and security needs. You can give them a call today at 870-883-0330 or check out their website at bryantstechnologies.com. That's bryantstechnologies.com with an S in between. It's Bryant Technologies, quality work, guaranteed. So getting into your chats, folks. We'll got to get to the super chats first, of course. But shout out to our guy Brad. He said, "Thank you, boys, for the coverage. Get around at Snookers on me, LFG Hogs." Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
We
Brad.
will take you up on that for
Yeah,
sure.
they had some the appetizer that Andrew got with the pretzels and the Sam Adams queso was chef's kiss right there, man.
Yeah,
That was
hit the
good
spot,
stuff.
man.
That was awesome. Shout out to our guy Nick. Gives us a super chase. Says, "Woo, pig suey." That's all he wants to say. But that's
Love
all you
that.
need to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you offended by him using more than 2 O's?
No, because that's at least looks like you're calling the Hogs.
Yeah.
But it's the 3 O's.
3 O's
I'm
is
out.
tough.
I'm out on that. Our guy Garrett McCollum says, "Love you guys. Need some strong HD roofing heavy hitters today. Hogs by 90." Yeah.
Love
Stay
that.
tuned.
We're going to have those. We're going to have those for you, man. But appreciate you. Unbiased Brim, I guess he's coming, and he says on the road. So
Good.
he's going to be showing up. It's going to be cool to meet him. We got to get a picture with Unbiased.
Yeah. Brim, we are waiting for you. We will have a drink with you as soon as we're done with this show, and you should see us as soon as you walk in. If you're coming to Snookers, we're gonna have a good time, man.
Yep.
Looking forward to seeing you for sure.
Yep.
We're by the dartboards,
It's true.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
it's risky. I mean, my head is in the line of fire, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were a little worried about that.
That's okay. Yeah, we could actually just sit here and play from here, honestly, if we
Yeah.
wanted to, if we really wanted to get into it. But no, I already did that one. Circle U Farms, say?
Yeah.
He says, "Great to see you guys looking good. Hope you still this happy later tonight, Woo Big Suey." Us too.
We
We
hope
would
so
love to
too,
stay
yeah.
happy. Happiness is honestly our preferred emotion in all of this, but we're hoping so. Also, I just want to address this real quick because I don't know why it came. This guy Cameron says, "John, didn't it take you 11 years to graduate from Arkansas? Congrats." No, it took me 7.5 years. I don't know what the context is, but that's it. I don't know. Anyways,
the weirdos just randomly pop in from time to time. you
yeah,
know?
I know.
What I also love, like, what is that supposed to mean? You
I
know,
know.
like, even if John did take 11 years to graduate, it's like, does that mean that like Arkansas is going to lose to Kansas
Yeah,
tonight?
but
Does that
say-
mean
Right.
John should not be doing this show? Like what is the conclusion we're supposed to take
Yes.
from
Yes.
that?
What does it have to do with anything? Is usually what most of the reactions I have to a lot of the comments, but
Does you taking a long time to finish college contradict anything that we've said so
it might
far
be.
on the show?
It might be because they probably took me very super serial, and then once they
Yeah.
found out it took me so long in college, they're like, "Oh, this guy doesn't need to talk about sports.
Yeah,
The guy doesn't know anything. What's his educational background? I mean, come on." Also, Nick wants to know, how do you like the arena, Curtis?
I like it a lot, actually.
Nice and small, but
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it seats 14,000. It's not. It's not
Seems small,
Auburn.
though.
Small. I thought it was fine. I mean, we'll see when we get in there. I want to see how many people are in there and what it looks like with a full crowd and stuff. But I was impressed by it. A bunch of people were in my comments like, "Oh, it's just an embarrassingly small NCAA tournament site." I'm like, shut the hell up. It's awesome.
not really.
It's a good looking arena. Seats are comfortable. It's going to be loud as heck in there. I mean, do you guys want it at Lucas Oil Stadium where
No.
75% of the seats aren't? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
these-
hate football stadium.
Yeah, like these
basketball
first
games.
and second round sites. Watch the games today is what I'll say
Yeah.
to people. You'll see a lot of places that are like 40% full
Mhm.
or whatever. We've been to places that are, it's just it's too big and there aren't enough people in there, and it kind of takes away from the environment,
Yeah.
honestly, of the NCAA tournament experience. It's going to be packed here.
I think
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think maybe the reason I felt like it's small is because it's only one deck. You know, like you're used to seeing like a double deck or whatever. Maybe that's why I feel like it looks small, but it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like maybe that's why I feel like that way. But no, the arena's nice. Like
It's
it's a
nice,
good spot.
yeah.
And here's the thing that I know that. Sorry, Andrew, but I know me and Curtis, in our coverage of when we gone to other NCAA tournament events, the arenas that they have them in are pretty consistent, like the same type of arena, pretty
Right.
much. I mean, they're all. Some of them are college arenas, some of them are concert venues, some of them are hockey rinks, or hockey
Lot of
stadiums.
hockey rinks,
Yeah.
man.
So, but
Yeah.
they're all very similarly set up. It's almost like the NCAA looks for a particular type of arena to have the games in. So, because I don't think has there been one that I'm like, oh man, this is crap. This is a terrible arena. Like, I don't think there's ever been
like
that.
the Wells Fargo in Des Moines
Yeah.
was old, but it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Buffalo, where the is it the Sabres? Is that who played up
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that was cool. So
And I just feel like, and I guess we could say whatever we want about the arena itself, but I have a feeling that the atmosphere tonight is going to be better than round of 64 atmospheres we witnessed in the past.
Well, and dude, the
I
thing,
agree.
And
the reason
the
I
game
agree
helps,
with that,
but
this is a college basketball town.
Yeah.
Like, this is a college basketball area. Obviously, you've got the two campuses, Providence and Rhode Island, like, a stone's throw away from each other. You've got those fan bases kind of right here. When we're downtown, I see a bunch. Like we've seen so many. I mean, there's a Providence fan here today that was like waiting to get in.
Yeah.
There's just like a lot of just college basketball guys. All the owners of all the places that we go to are Providence grads that love college basketball that are going to the game. This is an area that, like you guys said, they picked this for a reason. This is an NCAA. This feels like an NCAA tournament place. Like Providence it feels like it was made for this exact event.
If it wasn't just so far away from Arkansas, it would be the best thing ever. Like it's the type of like for Arkansas fans. But if you're a St. John's fan, you probably love it being here. Because it's so close. But yeah, it's going to be a cool atmosphere here tonight. A few other chats here. Shout out to our guy JP Sullivan. Appreciate the super chat. He says, "Let's go Hogs. Feeling good about it. Thanks for repping the state so well, guys. Y'all better be hella strutting through Providence when we beat the Hawks." Yes, we're going to literally have our chest out and just doing this walk as they just walk down to the post-game
show. We're going to be strutting like Vince McMahon.
Yes, it's going to be happening. And that's what's going to be fun, too, of just seeing, and I know you got to win tonight, but just seeing the type of storylines that could really come out of this area, this Providence, I don't know, not a regional. What is it called? Is it a regional? If it's just like this 4-game or these, okay, we'll call it a regional. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just there's so many storylines, too, and it'd be fun to see how it all plays out.
I want it so bad. We're gonna get a lot of that. We kind of already are that Chris Beard, Eric Musselman stuff. I sent you guys a text early, but I was listening to the Field of 68 because I do. I get up in the mornings, I go run, whatever college basketball stuff I can find, I listen to. Was
Fanta sounding a little hungover or anything?
Fanta wasn't on. It was the show that they did last night. We know where he was last night.
Yeah, we do.
His ass wasn't on. He wasn't on the mic, bro.
Ass off for Xavier, by the way.
It was wild.
Fanta's a huge Xavier fan, but Terrence Oglesby, one of the guys on there, they both picked Arkansas to beat Kansas, by the way. Those guys did.
That's good.
But then they were talking about St. John's, and he was just like, oh, come on. He's like, that's just such a coaching mismatch. It's like two guys trying to get on a seesaw, but Rick Pitino holds all the weight. It's just not even fair. It's not even close. And it just reminded me so much. What was that dude's name? Todd Furman. Yeah, very, very much those vibes. So I need Arkansas to win, and St. John's, obviously. That way I can just quote tweet that dude and just play that over and over. Heck, maybe we ask Cal about it. He doesn't care, but we're going to ask him. It's just good opportunities, so we need the Hogs to take care of business.
I'm still, sidebar, but that time when Furman said that about Chris Beard over Muss, I was so upset because I had Todd Furman coming on my radio show that next day. Because I was like, dude, you got to talk about this. And he was like, yeah, dude, I'll do it. And then they, I forgot, I think it was either that, it was because we didn't know the game times yet for that second round, and the game was during my show. So when I was on the buzz, they played the radio game. Yeah. But, so anyways, it really pissed me off. Creighton still's putting it to Louisville. It's hate to see it. Hate to see that.
Danny Shee is he's just a happy man.
He's thrilled,
right now.
Is
he a Creighton guy?
Big Creighton guy.
He loves Creighton.
Why did I
think he was an A&M guy?
He
A&M baseball?
He just picks random schools that he just gets into.
Yeah.
There was somebody in football that he was really dialed in on. He's like, I'm telling you, Coastal Carolina. I'm like, what are you talking about, Danny?
Yeah. Okay. Also, shout out to Cade. Says, would you feel more or less confident if Mutz was coaching this team against Kansas instead of Cal?
I don't know yet.
I have a cop-out answer.
Okay.
My cop-out answer is Mutz coaching this game changes so many things because it changes the entire vibe of the season. It changes, the journey leading up to this point would have been so differently. It's really tough to just say, to sub a coach out game to game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is he taking over this team that has all these good vibes and all that? Yeah, I could see them, playing pretty hard and playing pretty well and doing a good job. But it's would all these guys have the mentality they have right now if they had gone through the season with Muss? I feel like a couple people would have quit the team maybe. A couple guys would have probably gotten benched. I don't know. It would have changed so much. So it's really tough for us to answer. I'll say I don't know. Muss is a psycho when it comes to preparing for games. So I would be very confident. I'm not trying to downplay it, but I think the entire team would be so different.
Yeah, it's so hard not to trust Eric Musselman in March after what he did at Arkansas. Yeah. But I am not confident that he would have been able to reverse the course to get those guys to this point either. So it's tough to say. And I don't want to also let my preconceived notions about Cal before he got here cloud my judgment on what he can do. So I'm very anxious for this one. And then, let's say he wins, and then we at least have that, and you got 8 Eric Musselman NCAA tournament victories under the belt. But then we can have that discussion for the St. John's game about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said the St. John's game. I will give Muss this. If Arkansas's playing Thursday to Saturday, I trust Muss more in that setting because he's a psycho when it comes to quick turnarounds, scouting, doing as much as he can. He's been really good in those settings, and I feel like that's been a big ingredient for Arkansas's tournament success.
They beat where were we? Oh yeah, they beat Vermont, and then he came out of the locker room. He was walking to the locker room after the game, and coming back from the press conference, and he had full scouting reports ready to give the team for New Mexico State. And he was going on this long rant about how the NCAA has changed up so much stuff, and they used to be able to go in their lockers and we'd have deodorant and body wash and all this stuff, and now we don't even get that. I say he's teeing off on the NCAA tournament while he has the New Mexico State scouting report ready. The guy was literally insane.
Yeah, and again, I'm the biggest Muss fan out there, man, and that was the one deal where, Muss wasn't perfect, had his flaws, we all know it. But if there was a coach that I felt good about getting ready for a quick turnaround in the NCAA tournament, that dude was. I give me him every single day because the dude won 10 NCAA tournament games in his career as a head coach in college basketball, and only 6 NCAA tournament appearances. 6. So I mean, I'd love to know the type of. If you have I feel like if you're in the NCAA tournament and your ratio of winning and losing, like if you have an over 1 win-loss ratio in the NCAA tournament, you're a really dadgum good coach, especially if there's 10 wins in there too. Also, Haas says, hey, John, shout out from distant kin, just south of the ridge here in Arkansas. Always love the podcast. Go Hogs. Hey, thanks, Haas.
Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Guess
I don't think that's
Rabbit Ridge.
I don't think that's actually him. I think that is
I mean, if it was, I'd be like, where'd I get those? I didn't get those jeans from the gene pool. I wish I looked that good in a cowboy hat. But no, appreciate it, man. I have I'm going to be honest, a lot of distant kin relatives down there in the Rabbit Ridge area. So, I appreciate though, and I'm glad that the internet's working down there too. Let's see. Jeremy says, "Hey John, where can I get a Razorback hoodie with the Hog logo?" Razorback.com. You can go to Razorback.com. Use promo code HOGSBY20, get 20% off your first purchase. They got some really cool baseball stuff up there now too, like some Bomb Stadium shirts and polos. So yeah, that's the place to get it.
They're starting to expand. When I remember when we first got into cahoots with them, they had like a few Razorback items, but it does seem like they're starting to ramp it up a little bit.
And I'm serious about this. They told us it's because of us. Because of this partnership, they said that they had so much of a demand for Razorback Rowback gear that they had to expand on it. So shows that, hey, people listen to us and they also purchase the things that we promote. So just saying.
How about that?
How about that? It's almost like it works. Mark Holmes. As soon as I see UK fan, I get sick to my stomach.
No,
but okay,
it's okay.
UK fan wishing Cal and Hogs good luck tonight. I think if Cal and the kids play loose, then they can pull the victory out tonight. Thanks, Mark.
That.
Appreciate that comment.
They were loose yesterday.
They were very
I'm
loose.
going to be, when we get there and we see warm-ups and everything and, like, the team coming in, we'll be able to check that stuff out. I need that same energy that we had yesterday.
Yep.
Or I will make note of it.
So, if Arkansas is in a situation like U.S. Reed was where they need a half-court shot to win the game, this Big Z got to be the one that takes it, right?
I mean, he has to.
He has to be the one that they throw it to it and stuff. Yeah. So we got more Razorback fans rolling in here. So, like I said, the Razorback Red is coming through in the clutches as well.
Yes.
A little action here in Providence at Snookers. So appreciate y'all. In fact, Zach, I wanted to know, what are y'all eating at Snookers? What's on the menu?
So we came here the other day.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that Tuesday night?
Yes.
When we got here.
Tuesday night.
Whatever you had that night is what I want after this. That chicken parm
sandwich is good. I had it's called Uncle Al's chicken parm sandwich.
Yeah.
That's good.
If it's named after a relative, you know it's good.
They've got burgers here. They've got just sandwiches, like some different sandwiches. Like they had like a meatball something. They had a meatball sandwich. There was like some type of Italian thing that you were looking at.
Yeah.
Italian grinder. I had the chicken parm. Y'all really like the PBR burger.
That was really good.
Which is cool. They've also got pizza. And I've seen some. I mean, the pizza looks pretty solid, like bar pizza, that thin pizza that you like.
Yeah.
They've also got. I mean, there was something else. Their appetizers are pretty good. I mean, we talked about the pretzels.
Wings, those nachos were fire.
The nachos were very good too. Yeah.
We really need to.
They got a glizzy here.
They do have a glizzy.
Apparently,
they're trying to sell us
because they said the girl said that the official food of Rhode Island is a hot dog.
Yeah.
Did not know that. I don't even know what the official food is of Arkansas.
We need to. Yeah, I don't know. We need to get one of those. One of our waitresses. Well, we've had the same girl both times we've been here.
Yeah,
we need to get her on here maybe tomorrow. And let her just tell everybody what to do.
Because apparently,
she did a good job breaking it down.
All the other waitresses were dying to come on our podcast, is what we were told.
Yeah.
So, but hey, listen,
they have kind of made us feel
Welcome.
Like irrationally cool.
Yeah, I think
they think we're a way bigger deal than we are.
I think it's because of our handsome nature is
That's
really
probably
what it
what it
was
is,
that
yes.
kind of caught their attention. It wasn't the
That's
work
what
we're
has to be.
doing. Oh, we got a guy with a hog hat walking in here, by the way.
Love the Razorback the hog hat and everything too. Love that. Is that the Anthony Black jersey, number 0, or is that just a?
Ooh,
It's an
man,
I mean,
hog through the
it's an
A. That's
Anthony
what I'm
Black
talking
number.
about right
Yeah,
there. That
I
looks
like
good.
that.
I wish they wore that uniform where it has the hog jumping through the A on the front. It's like,
Yeah.
for everyone that can't see here, listen to the stream, instead of having just a normal Razorback logo on the front like that jersey, it's got the hog jumping through the A. I kind of wish
like
they
that.
would use that.
That looks
Yeah.
good.
Is this old gal wearing? Is that a Corliss jersey, number 34, or is
is
it
that
94?
34?
Because they sometimes do the 94. I don't know.
can't
I'll have to
tell.
look at it, but what
Man,
ask.
The
Stand
plastic hog hat's in the way.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hey, ma'am, do you mind showing us your jersey? Like, I'm sure that'll go over well. Kingsley says apparently state food is tomato in Arkansas. Is
He's called-
that true?
Is that in Arkansas? I mean, that's Warren, right? Warren,
I
Arkansas.
guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I still feel like, it can be food. I still think catfish needs to be elevated higher if you're going to be known for something.
Are
But
there enough bodies of water throughout Arkansas?
for catfish? Yeah.
I think the national food of Ireland is the cucumber.
That was
Based on what we
potato.
learned
yeah,
last
yeah,
night.
yeah. Oh,
The
that's
twofer,
true.
The pickle and the
The
cucumber.
twofer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. In fact, that's what they call an Irish salad, is just potatoes and cucumbers.
Yeah.
And going off of that. So, all right, well, now we know it's a tomato.
Okay.
Could be worse things. Hey, if Arkansas wins a national championship, he's going to switch over to chicken for Tyson because
Yeah.
he's the one that helped
Yes.
produce that. So, yeah, well, good to know. Good to know. All right, let's keep it moving here. We'll get to your chats, folks. As always, we appreciate it. And we're live here at Snookers. Got some Razorback fans that are starting to represent. We got some
Yeah, I feel good
behind
about
us
that.
even.
Yeah.
I'd say here's a good, solid. We got a Michigan fan randomly in here who said that he may have tickets.
Yeah, who
So-
might be saving our lives.
Yeah, which, by the way, folks out there, I'm not going to say who, but there's somebody that needs a ticket to the NCAA Tournament events today. So if you have one, or maybe you purchased one but you can't make it or anything, hit us up. We will gladly give that person that ticket, and they can enjoy the game. So just throwing that out there for everybody in case you have one just lying around.
John, I want to quickly give you credit. Like, you should at least feel validated enough on your conversation about Montana
Okay.
when we were doing the bracket thing the other day. I mean, we're 6-7 minutes into the game, and they're hanging in there with Wisconsin. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's,
There's something about, because was it Stanley Mude went to Montana or Montana State?
he was South Dakota.
I was off completely, so it really doesn't matter.
So-
I was going to have to make
And
a
he was
really
not-
great point.
He was just South Dakota, right? Because South Dakota State's actually a pretty good program. He was not that.
Well, the point of like why I like a thing like Montana is just because they're just a bunch of guys that have probably played together literally since high school, maybe in junior high, because that's the only college they would go to. And I don't know, there's always those teams that they don't have a bunch of huge basketball schools up in Montana that people go to, so they're all going to go to one place.
They live in elevation, and
Yeah.
they're in Denver, and Wisconsin's there. And I guess people were saying they played however many games in as many days to get to the Big Ten title game, and then they had the quick travel. So
That is
people are wondering
interesting.
about that. Yeah.
Okay,
I like the
Now we know.
Montana logo, just the Grizz.
Yeah.
Like that little logo, just it's spelled out. It's just really solid.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into our heavy hitters here on the show today. Presented by HD Roofing and Construction. Storms can hit unexpectedly, which apparently a lot of storms and wind and craziness has been going on in the state of Arkansas. So if you're one of those houses or homes or businesses that's been impacted by that, contact HD Roofing for your peace of mind with a free inspection. When you choose HD Roofing, you can rely on professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation for all of your roofing needs. You can check them out more by calling at 501-428-0429, as well as visiting their website at hdarkansas.com. All right, I've let y'all guys start first for the heavy hitters. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off with my heavy hitter. And I'm not going with an individual. I'm going with the team. I got to give North Carolina credit.
Yeah.
All right, I got to give them credit, and I also want to give Xavier credit because those are two teams that won in those play-in games. Xavier was whatever, but like North Carolina, I felt like they didn't deserve to be in. And I'm not saying that they're going to win against Ole Miss, which I guess you told me that they're favored over Ole Miss, which is crazy.
2.
But I want to give them credit. They beat a team handedly. If they beat Ole Miss, then it's going to kind of silence people. But it just seems like there's so many individual cases of teams that everyone's like, they didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve it. Then if they get in there, not to say that they still deserved it because they won, but everybody's kind of rooting against them because they don't feel you're deserving of it. They stepped up to the plate and won pretty handedly last night. So I want to give credit where credit is due. I know it's a play-in game, but they answered the call and they won big last night. So that was my heavy hitter.
They sent our boy, lifetime interim coach Rodney Terry to the pasture. Xavier did. So
Sure did.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, they said they had to, which I always liked the reports last night. They're like, he has to make a run, or they wanted him to make a run. I was like, so define a run. Like, what would have been a run for Texas? Was it the Sweet 16? Is it a you win 2 games? Like, what is a run?
I think if they had
mean?
won a game, that would have qualified, right?
It's
because you would have had
crazy.
to win. You would have had to win the first 4 and beat a 6 seed. I think that would have done it.
I guess, yeah, because I feel like to go on a run, you got to win at least 2 games in the tournament. Just call it a run.
But
so.
does winning in Dayton count as one of those games? To be
yeah,
fair,
exactly. I don't know.
You also got to take into account they went on a little bit of a run in the SEC tournament.
Yeah,
so I think
that's
if
true.
they had won a game in the NCAA tournament, you could have easily talk yourself into it. But no, it's going to be interesting to see. Texas head coach Eric Musselman.
Stop. I can't. No, that's not allowed.
I very
It's
well
not
could
allowed.
be Sean Miller, who just beat him.
Yeah.
Which
That would be pretty cool.
Hilarious.
Yeah. And I also, too, real quick, I know it's Texas, Adam, but I am a little disappointed because I really enjoyed watching Trey Johnson play, and I really wanted to
he's
see
nasty.
like he could do in the tournament, because that's the thing we talk about Cinderella stories in the NCAA tournament. It's always so much fun to see that one player on that team that's not very good, whether it's Steph Curry at Davidson or what was the kid from UConn that basically led him to a title game and won it. Napier, yeah, like seeing that type of performance from him. And even Melo at Syracuse was one of those guys. So those are always the fun players to watch, but it's a shame that we're not going to see more of him because he's a good player.
You know who was hooping last night? Tremont Mark.
He
was.
Played some
Yeah,
good basketball
he
last
was,
night.
man.
Is he done with eligibility?
Got to be.
I think
Surely?
so.
Hopefully.
He played like a full 3 years at Houston.
Yeah, he had to get a med shirt that 1 year for his shoulder or whatever. But yeah, he was there for 3.
Played
Played
a year at
Arkansas 1. There's no way.
So the only players from last year's team that'll still be eligible to play that actually played, I guess, will still be Brazil. Because I think is Pinion done? He
I
has
think
to be,
Pinion's
right?
got another year.
Does he?
I think he only played 2 years at Arkansas.
Yeah, he should have another.
I guess that's true.
Him and Ford.
He's just a straight up true senior. Him and
Barry
Locker.
Dunning.
Locker will have
Locker,
another
yeah.
year.
So, well, anyways, that's my heavy hitter of the day.
Fair enough. Kareem Rattel. That's my heavy
Yeah.
hitter. The new Razorback, man. I
Yep.
mean, why not? I think
Rattel.
people just, first of all, shout out to his agent, because I didn't know how that was going to go, but I reached out to his agent last night. Hey, excited to cover the new Razorback, man. You think I can get a quote, how he feels about joining the Hogs? And the dude sent me quotes. He sent me like an entire photo album of this kid. He sent me a bunch of highlights. So usually those agents will, they don't respond to you, or they're like, yeah, for a fee you can get a quote or whatever. No, this dude was awesome. So I appreciated that. But this is cool. A kid who's really excited to play for John Calipari to come over to the States and be developed by a current and active Hall of Famer. People were giving him so much trouble because in his quote he said, man, like John Calipari's a future Hall of Famer. Why would I not want to play for him? Everybody's like, future.
He's already in it.
There's not that many active Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's very clear that he understands how good of a coach and how legendary of a coach Cal is. But I'm excited about this. He's a developmental guy, and I think when people hear that, they automatically go, he sucks. If he's a developmental piece, he's just not any good. But that's not the case at all. He's been playing professional basketball, been playing against adults. And if you watch his highlights, you can see the vision there. And so I really do think he's going to wind up being a guy who's like, your 11th or 12th man or whatever. Maybe he winds up redshirting. I don't know. But it's going to be an upgrade on the back end of your roster. You watch his highlights, he can knock down threes. So anytime you see that from a guy who's over 6'9", you feel pretty good about it. He's got some post-game with some little turnaround stuff, some like 1-foot faders and everything. Like there's some skill there. He's just got to refine and tighten some things up. So I think it's an interesting piece for Arkansas to bring in. And if John Calipari signs off on him, I'm all for it. Embrace the international invasion at the University of Arkansas, man.
Yes.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, it worked out for baseball so far, so you got to do it for basketball. But real quick, before you get I just want to say I know how Cal's going to approach it. He was playing against grown men over there. You know how old grown men are? You know how old they are? They're in their 20s.
Yeah, man.
You don't see that anymore in college basketball.
Well, did you
I was
hear?
going to approach it.
Did you hear what he said at the end of his press conference yesterday, Cal? Where he was like, "Listen, I'm still going to be bringing in my freshmen. I'm still going to be bringing in young guys because that's what does it for me. Like helping families, using that whole thing." He's like, "But I understand. I got to get older. I've got to have more veteran team." He was like, "I got to have a handful of guys out there on the floor with beards and a kid in the stands." and now he's bringing in, a guy who's going to be a 21-year-old freshman when he arrives on campus or whatever. So he, whoever it was in the chat yesterday that said he's just kind of found that loophole of bringing in freshmen who are also adults at the same time. Maybe that's just the new lay of the land for Cal.
Apparently, our guy David is all in on the international. He says Arkansas is going to have 3 Lithuanians on the team next season. Where the hell are they going to get 2 other Lithuanian kids?
Does he have brothers?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he has brothers. Maybe there's maybe LaMelo Ball is going to be on the team. I don't know, but I would be interested to hear who the other 2 Lithuanians are going to be. Also, I want to have John's back real quick because Pooh Bear says Hawaii is part of the states.
Canada and Australia.
Canada, Australia, and South Korea are very much not a part of the United States. Arkansas's had a nice little international flavor here lately.
If I would have said, the Aloy brothers, they're from that foreign country of Hawaii, then I could but it didn't say that at all.
They got that brown shortstop.
I love it. And David says Ivicic, and Rattel, and Rattel's been playing in Lithuania. He's actually Lebanese.
Yeah,
and then both the Ivicic bros
very
are
much
Croatian.
not Lithuanian.
It's all the same.
But
I was wondering. I was like, is there another Lithuanian kid I forgot about? But my heavy hitter, by the way, is a preemptive heavy hitter. I'm giving this guy heavy hitter before he even accomplishes the task that I'm about to lay out for him. His name is Trevin Brazil. Speaking of international flavor, Brazil, like that.
Yeah.
Although he's from Springfield.
Yeah, that's a good job.
Just a Lambert's kid. He's not an international kid. But Trevin Brazil, I talked about Jonas Adu, that is, in that matchup with Dickinson. And, of course, Hunter Dickinson's not the type of guy that you're just going to put one guy and he's just going to body him up. But I think Trevin Brazil is a very big key in this matchup. One, he's always a key in any matchup for Arkansas because he just has a ceiling. He has a shot-making ability that you don't see out of the big men that much. When he knocks down a 3, Arkansas's offense just automatically goes to another level. They become way harder to guard. I think he's going to be important because Dickinson, for as good as he is on the offensive end, maybe not the most fleet of foot on the defensive end. So I think Brazil's athleticism and his shot making could really put Kansas in a bind where they're sitting there looking at their star big man and saying, do we have to get this cat out of the game? I also think inevitably there will be times where Trevin Brazil is in the vicinity of Hunter Dickinson. That's going to be a matchup, like I talked about earlier, that Kansas is going to be trying to force feed. Anytime they see Trevin Brazil, Hunter Dickinson, they're going to say, hey, let's get a post up. Let's get that look. Trevin's got the length. He's got the athleticism. Just be strong. Just contest. You don't have to shut him down completely. He's going to get his buckets. Make him work for stuff. I think if Trevin can just kind of halfway do okay on the defensive end, make some shots on the offensive end, he could be a big factor in this game, and I think he's going to need to be. I feel pretty good about Adu's post defense. Brazil's post defense can be hit or miss, but I think this matchup, I like his ability in this matchup to be an X factor. His
defensive rebounding is going to be so important for Arkansas because that's one way Kansas can get you. Hunter Dickinson, KJ Adams, Flory Badunga, all those guys are really good offensive rebounders there in the front court. But Trevin's got the athleticism and the length. He's got to be an animal on the defensive glass, and he has been lately. Here's the thing is, I don't have the no slander list with me, but I'm just so happy for Trevin Brazil and the way that he's been playing. And the fact that he's here at the NCAA tournament, because the guy deserves it. He wasn't able to play a couple years ago in the tournament. Obviously, they had the disappointment last year. And for him to come back and him to do what he's done, and a lot of scrutiny, and I'm not even just saying from Razorback fans, it's just, of all those stupid rumors that got out, there's still people that are bringing it up, and it's just like for him to be, I want all the team to play well, but I really want him to play well and continue to play well in this moment because he deserves it. He's obviously loved his time here at Arkansas enough to where a coaching change happens and he still comes back. And so I'm just hopeful that he plays really, really well. And I don't know what does that mean? How's that defined? I think if he goes for his he's no more 2 for 3. But
he's elevated from that.
Yeah, if he goes for like the double machine that he is flirting around with every time, if he just does that, I'll be pretty excited. I'll be pretty happy for him. We could go with 2-3 TB, hit a couple threes, and doing his work on the glass, he winds up with a smooth 10-10, and Arkansas moves on. Well, I want to play this clip because this was yesterday when we got to talk with Trevin Brazil. Still funny when he talks about the last time Arkansas beat Kansas. He was on the team, but he wasn't obviously playing. But had a funny recollection of that.
It's crazy. I was thinking about that on the flight over here. Just kind of thinking about the game. I think that's when Musselman took his shirt off. That was an adventure. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. My first time playing in it. I'm blessed, and it's obviously a dream come true. So.
Yeah, just he's just like saying that was an adventure.
That's one way to put it, man.
Yeah, it was. But that's a good thing and a good vibe about Kansas. And you've faced them recently, and last time you did, you took care of business. Hopefully, ends up going your way here too. But yeah, really hoping TB plays well. And I guess if there was a guy you were going to bank on leading the team in scoring tonight, who's it going to be? If you're going to bet on him, who's it going to be?
So many times I have tried to talk myself into this week, just Nelly having a big game, just knocking down 4 or 5 threes or whatever. But I'm actually down to 2 guys here.
One of them's DJ, right?
One of them is DJ Wagner, for sure. And I know he's got DeJuan Harris who's going to be checking him or whatever, but he seemed really, really locked in yesterday, and he was shooting the crap out of it. And he very much, he's open and honest about what losing that game did to him last year and how hungry he is to get a little bit of redemption and have another opportunity. So I'm feeling good about DJ. And then Big Z. Here's the thing about Big Z. He's going to give you a lot or he ain't giving you nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we'll know right away. But I really do think a huge key for Arkansas, if they wind up winning this game, is us looking at it and going, yeah, well, Big Z hit a couple threes early, and they drug Hunter Dickinson's big butt out from under the rim. And that changed everything and opened up so much. So I'm going to go with one of those 2 guys, I think.
I think, to your point about Nelly, if Nelly leads Arkansas in scoring tonight, I think Arkansas wins the game. Because if he leads them in scoring, that means that Nelly's giving them 16, 18, something like that, hitting 3 or 4 threes. I feel pretty confident. All these guys, and Nelly is in this list of Arkansas has these guys like a Big Z who you could either get 16 or 0, literally. Carter Knox, you could get 14 or 3. Even Jonas Adu is a guy that has led Arkansas in scoring a few times. He could also have 5 points. It's one of those things. DJ is probably the epitome. He has a pretty high floor where DJ's worst game, he's going to give you 8 or whatever. But I feel like if Nelly leads them in scoring and gives them 18, I trust the combination. All those other guys that I listed, you'll get enough out of them to where Arkansas scores 75 or whatever. And was it you that said the stat that Kansas has not won a game where they've given up 75 points?
I'll get the stat for you real quick. It was from our buddy Ben Brandon. I saw him put it out, and let's get here real quick. Yeah, in the 2024-25 season, Kansas is 5-10 when allowing 74 more points. 10 of their 12 losses were when giving up at least 74 points.
That's interesting.
So that's that's the number.
You remember when we were going in the Kentucky matchup and we were like, man, I worry that Kentucky can play at a pace that Arkansas just can't match.
Yeah,
it's crazy that now 6 weeks later we're saying Arkansas might be able to play. Arkansas scored 80 in basically, I think it's 5 of their last 6 or something like that. The South Carolina game was the only one where they didn't. Arkansas has been playing at a pretty high level offensively, regardless of who's in the lineup. I think Arkansas might actually be able to get out and run and maybe put this game and again comes back to the Hunter Dickinson point. If Arkansas is getting scoring punch from all these guys, is Hunter Dickinson really going to be the key to Kansas scoring 80? Is that a recipe for 80, having your big man go for 18 and 10? I don't know if it is.
I want to ask you guys a question real quick. John, I want to get your answer here first. If Boogie Fland leads Arkansas in scoring,
I was about to ask that same
do
thing.
the Razorbacks win the game?
No.
I don't think so
No.
either.
I don't know. That would be because that would probably mean that he led them with 12 points and nobody really got off. That's probably what that means.
Yeah, and it would also mean that he would have to play. He was playing a lot and probably shot a lot. Listen, it would be really cool, a cool story if they won, and it was because he went out there and scored 24 points and hit a bunch of threes. But it's just, I would not feel good about it. But I'll tell you this. My guy that I think is going to lead the team in scoring tonight, I think it's going to be Jonas Adu.
Love that.
I think it's going to be Jonas Adu. I just had this. I have this feeling about him and the way that he's been playing recently. I think that there's going to be some motivation too, because the first time these teams played in the exhibition game, I know Hunter Dickinson didn't play. I don't think Adu played either. So they didn't go up against each other. But I am sure that there's a lot that's been put on Adu. Be like, hey, Hunter Dickinson's the guy. Hunter Dickinson's the guy. You got to be the guy. You got to be the guy. And I think that he's walking with some confidence. I could see him absolutely going out there, getting 20, 22 points, 10, 11 rebounds, getting that double-double. He's feeding it. He's hitting his free throws as effectively as he could. Opens up other guys. But I feel like and I think, going back to your question about Boogie, I think that if Jonas Adu leads the team in scoring and has a game like that, Arkansas wins this one and wins it going away.
You'll smell that?
Like that.
That's that barbecue chicken getting worked up. That's Hunter Dickinson down in the post. I think you're onto something with this Jonas Adu thing.
These guys played against each other. This was last November when Jonas was still at Tennessee, so a long, long time ago. But you look at the stat line, they played in Maui, and we asked Jonas about that yesterday. But he finished with, I mean, you look at it for Adu, and this was before he really broke out as a scorer.
Wow, yeah.
But he had 8 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. Even if if you get that from him, I'd like
awesome.
a little bit more from the scoring column, but that would be clutch.
Well, and only 2 fouls. Which,
And only 2 fouls.
was
Here's the
impressive.
problem, though. Hunter Dickinson had 17 points and 20 rebounds. However, only 1 offensive rebound. So if there's one thing Jonas did, he kept that dude's big butt off the offensive glass. He had 19 defensive rebounds, though.
That's wild.
That is pretty
crazy,
crazy.
man. Yeah.
Well, and looking at, it was a 69-60 game. A lot of Zakai Ziegler bricks going up.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's the thing where if, you want the whole team to play well, it doesn't matter who is the leading scorer as long as they win, but you're just going to feel better about certain guys, too, being out there and scoring. But who knows? There'll probably be somebody we don't even think about. Like Billy Richmond's probably going to lead them in scoring. Just somebody random.
I'll say
like
this.
that.
I think if Billy Richmond leads them in scoring, Arkansas is in trouble.
Carter Knox.
So?
Although I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what a 17-point Billy Richmond game would even really look like. But
I'll tell you what it looked like. Be like skiing downhill because that's where he's headed the whole time.
downhill Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep it moving here as we are live from Snookers here in Providence. A lot of Razorback fans showing up. You got the NCAA Tournament games going on. But, of course, want to give a shout-out to one of our newest sponsors here on Inside Arkansas, of course, is Basis Health. Our guy, Dre. Great dude for that. Yeah, now Curtis is on the other side of it, which I do have a graphic made for this. There's just some details I'm missing, but it'll be changed. But we're doing this for right now. So you just got to listen and watch. Basis Health is changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits at the comfort of your own home. Doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV, hydration, and more. Basis Health. They are there when you need it the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. But we appreciate them and appreciate our guy Dre being a part of it here at Inside Arkansas and being an official sponsor of our NCAA tournament coverage. So hopefully he continues on and continues rolling. But he's been great. We really appreciate him and all the help that he's given us in making it possible. So, but hopefully Arkansas, if they need any of those IVs and whatnot after this game, no overtime. Let's not do overtime.
No.
Just make it clean, make it easy. Hopefully there's not a ton of fouls, because I feel like so far, if you look at the foul totals in some of these games going on right now, it's been pretty low. Pretty low numbers.
Yeah. They're letting them play,
Yeah.
which that would be good for Arkansas.
Yeah.
Except for the High Point Purdue game with 15 minutes left to go. High Point's got 6 fouls. Purdue's got 0. So I'm sure High Point.
How puckered is Purdue right now?
Purdue, because they got it. They got up by about 10 earlier.
Yeah.
But they're kind of
10 at
starting
halftime.
to. Yeah, they're starting to. And High Point went through a cold stretch shooting.
Yeah.
Normally when you're facing that up and coming team, it's like, oh, you can't let them get hot from 3. They haven't gotten hot from 3, and they're still very much in the thick of this game. Purdue, more like Purdue don't.
Yeah.
They don't call them low point, boys.
I just can't get over Braden Smith's beard, man.
It's pretty intense. Yeah. Well, they got that game. Of course, they're up by a 6 in that one. You also have a few other games going on, like Creighton and Louisville. Creighton's still holding on to a 12-point lead. They've basically been dominating this game.
Yeah, Louisville's
most
tightened it
part.
up a little bit here. It looked like it was going to be a 30 ball there for a minute, but it looks like maybe it's going to be too little too late for Pat Kelsey, who somebody said in the chat that he's pulling an Eric Musselman. And I wonder if it's about him freaking out because
Maybe
it
so.
seems like he is.
Yeah, he's
About to go
0-4 in the NCAA tournament.
I was about to say, yeah, he's the moment's a little big for Pat Kelsey.
Certainly looks like it.
And John's Grizzlies are hanging in there.
They
hanging
are.
in there.
They're giving them all they want. 29-22.
Yeah.
Wisconsin with the lead there with 4.5 to go. Also, Houston has started their game against SIUE.
Did y'all lock in SIUE at plus 6,600?
Did not.
No, did you wind up doing it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Well,
My book wouldn't offer it.
No, it's 7-4. With 16.5 minutes to go. So, yeah, got plenty of time there. But still, we got all the games in front of us, or around us at least, and here at Snooker. So, yeah, it's a great day. Like, NCAA tournament's great as you advance, but the first couple days are the best because it's just nonstop, wall-to-wall NCAA tournament coverage and games that you can watch from work. It's great. They got to get a few chats here. I appreciate those band geeks. For the super chat, he says, "You all make watching the Hogs 1,000 times better. If you could put any former Hog on this current team to round it out, who would it be and why?"
So I'm gonna take a weird answer here, and I'm not gonna take obviously I'd love to have Big Nasty down in the post. Yeah, I'd sure like to have Oliver Miller. I love to have Sidney Moncrief. I'm gonna go with Isaiah Joe. Here's why I'm going with Isaiah Joe. Think about how much better we would like this Arkansas basketball team if they just had a guy that was just a 40%
sniper.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like junior year Isaiah Joe, what we should have gotten out of him. Yeah, just a sniper. And think about on this particular team, Isaiah Joe would never have to dribble. Like, would never even have to consider dribbling. He's doing it in the NBA level, and you see how high of a percentage Isaiah Joe can shoot when he's just asked to shoot. At Arkansas, he was asked to actually create a little bit of offense, so his numbers weren't as good as they probably should have been. Mm-hmm. On this team, Isaiah Joe would just bring a different dimension that I feel like this team could use. I mean, because this team checks a lot of boxes. They're pretty well-rounded. If they just had that kind of X factor that teams had to chase off screens, teams had to do, I think Isaiah Joe would be the kind of guy. Because the shooting aspect, that's what I feel like when Arkansas' season ends, they're going to go 4 of 19 from 3, and that'll be it.
Could you imagine Isaiah Joe running off all of Cal's floppy screens?
Oh, he'd be going crazy on floppy, dude. I mean, yeah, but think about it. Like Nelly, and it would be interesting to see like how this would work with Nelly. But yeah, like Isaiah Joe would basically be in that Nelly role. Think about how many open threes Nelly's gotten and missed. Isaiah Joe would make more of them.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I'm torn between two different guys.
I am too. I wonder if
I don't know if it'll be the same, but I'll tell you what. I'll give both of mine. One of them being Mason Jones.
Okay.
Because but with the caveat, I don't know how he would have performed being surrounded by really good talent. Like he was on that team where it was basically him, Isaiah Joe, and then sometimes on an occasion Jimmy Witt, but he was the guy who's like, hey, just take the ball. You're all we got. Go and do your thing, and he did. But everyone knew he was going to get the ball and shoot the ball and all that, and no one still could stop it. Like, he still could go for 40 points, not even thinking about it.
It's such a shame that he never got to play in the NCAA tournament.
It's awful. So he would be one, but honestly, my guy Jalen Tate.
Beard.
Nope, my guy Jalen Tate.
Jalen Tate, okay.
My guy Jalen Tate. That dude was he was a solid, composed, good defender, 6'4", 6'5" point guard. Good leader. He could make free throws when his three-point shooting increased at the end. He just seemed to have all the intangibles where he's not going to wow you and be in the NBA or anything like that, but he didn't do anything bad. He wasn't bad at anything. He was just a solid all-around player, and I felt like, not to say that Arkansas doesn't have good guard play, but just having a guy like that, to help out with DJ or to help out with Nelly or whatever, I just feel like would really go a long way. So I would take Jalen Tate.
I have always had the same answer to this question for the last few years. This was the first year, though, that I've kind of switched it up. The reason why is because of Adu Thero. With Adu Thero being out, I would love to have a Justin Smith on this basketball team.
That's a great one.
Because they're similar in a lot of ways with what they can do positionally, their versatility on defense, their athleticism, ability to get on the glass on both ends, tough finishers, above the rim players. I would love to have a Justin Smith on this team.
Dude's good.
If Thero was healthy, though, I was kind of thinking about the sniper situation, too. And I'm thinking about the lineups and where they could fit one in. So I'm kind of thinking about like the wing or a guy who could slide down and play a little bit of small ball forward when you get Trevin out of there. Give me South Dakota Stan. I would love that for the same exact reasons, man, because he shot the crap out of it for Arkansas from the start of SEC play through the NCAA tournament. I think I'd love either one of those guys on the team.
By the time that season ended, Stanley Amude was playing as good as basketball as anybody on Arkansas's team. Yeah. I like that pick, and I love the Jalen Tate pick.
I love that.
And by the way, Jonas Adu, tall Jalen Tate, basically. He's just like the big man version of Jalen Tate.
Yeah. See a little bit of that.
Personality-wise, it seemed like he's that a little bit, too.
Yes. Yeah. And, I mean, there could be a lot of players that you could, insert onto this team. But
you always remember Devo for making that shot against Oral Roberts, but it was Jalen Tate that did the dirty work.
Yeah.
It was old man. I am backing this little Max Asmus dude down over and over and over and over and taking him to the paint.
The entire chat, y'all all took listen, no shit. We'd like Corliss Williamson or Sidney Moncrief. Yeah, sure, we'd take those. Yeah, I'll take Bobby Portis. We're trying to
what fits in with the team and
we're
what
trying
fit
to
with
handle
the current
NIL
style.
budget a little bit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those guys are going to cost a little bit. Todd Day is going to cost a little bit.
Guys, we have a salary cap we're working with here now.
Man, come on. I'm trying to be realistic, but I would certainly like to see an Arkansas team with Bobby Portis and Corliss Williamson down low.
What if I would have said Anthony Black? being on this team?
I mean, he's in the building. By the way, we confirmed it's an Anthony Black jersey because it says Black on the back of it.
Yeah, and
very
it is
much
number
Anthony.
0. So yeah, it's a good,
Yeah.
good thing. He's going to be here.
I mean, he's in that.
Yeah,
building.
yeah. The jersey of his is in that.
I was
for
like, I don't think he is actually. I'm sure he's
we,
doing
we
something.
were wondering if like Jordan Walsh would be here. Being in Boston.
Yeah.
Will he make a trip over? I don't think of any other guys that live in the Northeast. I'm sure there'll be some former Hogs that are up here.
Hey, speaking of former Hogs and speaking of some of the guys we're talking about right now, Jalen Williams, another double or triple-double. What do you go, 19,
Yeah,
17, and 14 or something the other day? Like, he had a crazy game.
Yeah, watch out, Jokic. You got another triple-double machine coming at you, and it's Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
So
Watch out, Nikola Jokic. There's a new big man with a 30-inch vertical that has taken
right.
the lead by storm.
That's right. Man, High Point's trying to make it a game against
They're
Purdue.
hanging in there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about Purdue that always rubs me. I always want to pick against them in the NCAA tournament. That's just it just doesn't feel like they are. They're the ones that you want to count on or rely on or anything like that. So, guys want to talk spring football? I'm kidding. We're not going to. Man, that is just something that I don't think anybody could. I just don't understand why anybody would really care about spring football right now.
Well, nobody's asking us about it.
Well,
Not
look, here's
a
the
single
thing.
soul
If you
is.
guys, and then, we talk about this off air a lot. If you guys want to talk football, we'll answer questions, but I just really don't doesn't seem like it's hot in the streets these days.
No, it's not, and I'm fine with that.
There'll be a time and place.
There will be a time and place.
Yeah, there will be. But let's go ahead and jump into your SEC update presented by Roback. Go to roback.com. Use promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your first purchase. We know Arkansas, of course, is playing today. Texas lost last night, so the SEC's 0-1. Thanks a lot, Longhorns. That's why we didn't want you in the conference.
Bye, Rodney.
Yeah, seriously. I wonder what Frank Haith's going to do. You got to worry about him.
I'm sure he'll land on his feet.
Just like he always does. But you got Auburn playing today at 2:50 against Alabama State. You have Georgia and Gonzaga, Battle of the G's, going on at 4:30. That's going to be on TBS. Tennessee Wofford is at 6:50 on TNT. Texas A&M Yale will be at 7:25 with that game being on TBS. Missouri and Drake will be on True TV at 7:35. That makes a lot of sense. And so those are the SEC teams going on today. What do you think which is the team that you're going to feel the best about losing in the SEC? Is it Georgia against Gonzaga?
I do think they're a little bit disrespected with the spread against Gonzaga, but that feels like the most likely. I mean, I would not be surprised to see Yale beat Texas A&M. I would not be surprised to see Drake beat Missouri. But I mean, yeah, right? That's the best matchup.
I think Oklahoma's the most automatic loss for the SEC.
Oh, is that today?
I don't know. Is it today?
No, Oklahoma's not.
Oh, it's
okay.
not today. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, I was just talking about for
but
today's
you're
games.
100% right. You're 100% right.
Yeah. I like. Who do you hope? Which SEC team do you hope loses? Like if you could guarantee one loss to an SEC team today.
A&M for sure.
A&M.
Oh,
Or
today.
I don't know.
Sorry, I was about Kentucky.
Just today.
Yeah. Tennessee or A&M for me. Yeah.
A&M for sure.
I think A&M. Or I don't know. Auburn would be really funny if they lost to Alabama State.
That would almost be
That'd be really
sad.
fun.
Like, it really would. Like, that would be almost too far.
We're gonna have a Quinn coming in 3,
Oh, dude,
2,
yeah.
1.
Yeah, no,
gonna be
I
yelling
really,
at us.
No, but like genuinely, like if Quinn didn't exist, I probably would say that would be the funniest one. But,
Agreed.
Yeah, because anytime a 16 beats a 1 seed, that's gonna. So that could be another thing. Which of the 1 or 2 seeded SEC teams who loses first in the tournament?
So weirdly enough, Tennessee's like the shakiest, but I think they have a pretty easy draw. I think this Wofford team is like the worst Wofford team of the last decade. Like, I think this Wofford, like, there's been years where Wofford, I mean, hell, we know firsthand, they almost beat Arkansas. Wofford's been dangerous a lot. I don't think this Wofford team is that dangerous. And then Tennessee, they have a pretty quick draw to, like, the Sweet 16, Elite 8. Like, I think they're probably going to be fine, but they're shaky as hell, though.
Yeah, I would say coming into it, maybe Bama, but they have a really good draw too.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like Grant Nelson is going to be back, but I don't know how healthy he really is. But like St. Mary's or Vanderbilt, whoever comes out of that game, like I'm not really stressing that with Bama, so I can't go there. Who is the Florida gets? Oh, UConn or Oklahoma. Florida UConn would be interesting just because. Like I think Florida's way better as a team. I like their roster construction better, but it's still you're the champs till you ain't the champs no more, right? And so that would be a very interesting game.
Tell you what, I'm going with Auburn. I'm saying Auburn.
I think I'm going with Auburn too. Hell, I picked Auburn to lose to Creighton.
Yeah,
so
it's not a bad pick.
Creighton,
yeah, I
Creighton's playing.
think that's the one, man.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning towards of the team that because they were the number 1 overall seed, right? Or was it Duke that was the number 1 overall seed?
It was Auburn.
It was Auburn. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The number 1 overall seed feel maybe a little bit better about
Auburn's
them.
getting, like, no respect in the streets. My family's bracket group has, like, 7 or 8 brackets. 0 people picked Auburn to win the national title.
Wow.
I haven't looked at the Inside Arkansas one, which, by the way, we got, like, almost 500 people in that group. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but, like, I've seen a lot of, like, public brackets, and I have not seen hardly anybody picking Auburn. And I'm like, damn, all year I feel like they were the best team. And now that we're here, I feel like they've like this is the lowest Auburn stock's ever been.
Yeah, which is really crazy to think about, like just how things can change over a couple weeks. I mean, 2 weeks ago would have been, oh, it's Auburn, not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the best team. I don't know how they don't win. And then now it's kind of like, oh, well.
Watching Kalkbrenner today, he would give Janai Broom problems, man.
Yeah, especially with the way Janai Broom was walking at that practice yesterday. But there is just something to be said about like the last impression that you leave. And Auburn has just been, I mean, they lost 3 of their last 4 games entering the tournament. It's just, it happens where a team kind of comes in limping and they go on a run, but they always have that stinky feel to them. Mm-hmm. And we tend to overrate the teams that are on a tear coming into the tournament. Although every now and then you see it work out, like NC State last year was the 11th seed that just kind of went on that crazy run. But I feel like that happens a lot where there's a team that like enters the tournament hot and then they lose immediately.
Also, shout out to Caleb, gives us a super chat. Appreciate you, man. He says, with Louisville losing today, does it help Nate Ament coming to the Hill more? I know Duke is the top runner, I feel like.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. I'm sure he does, but it's an NIL thing with him.
Yeah, plain and simple.
So,
I mean, it's not that, like the individual games don't like not matter at all.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't think like you're having kids getting swayed off their top choice because of the result of a team that is filled with players he's not even going to play with. I like
Nate Ament a lot. I mean, he's a huge talent, and like he's going to be a guy who's going to be a lottery pick this time next year. But some of the numbers I've heard thrown out for him, and I don't know what the inflation is in the market this year. But some people are saying that maybe Louisville's throwing out $2.5-3 million for him in NIL. Just you could get a couple of those guys with beards and a kid for that price, man. So I would probably lean towards that. If it was reasonable and he wanted to come to Arkansas, I'd be all freaking for it. But I don't know. I mean, it's easy to say, hey, it ain't my money, but I would spend that type of change on the top transfers as opposed to this guy. Yeah. Like I'd spend that money for AJ DeBanza or oh good lord, the Boozer kid, but I don't know about this one. So.
Finch wants to know, he's like, what game will get your blood pumping more, winning tonight or beating St. John's? Try not to read it as a tournament, but more just the game itself.
St. John's.
Yeah.
I
mean, this is awesome against Kansas. I mean, it's 2 great options.
It's
really,
2 great options. But weirdly enough, I actually might say Kansas only because the St. John's would be immediately followed by the scramble to book flights and scramble to book hotels and all that. I'd be really sweating bullets texting Hillary and being like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be out of town next week too. Whereas the Kansas game, it's just going to be pure elation.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, it's going to be a lot of elation when the Pigs beat St. John's.
It's just the Slick Rick factor for me. That's all.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, that would be so sick. Yeah. Plus, the rest of the country would be talking about it. Like, it'd dominate ESPN. Oh, Kentucky fans would be just so butthurt.
I feel like that would be such the too perfect thing that would go right. Is this Arkansas wins this game, Kentucky loses their game, Arkansas then beats St. John's, and it seems like it'd be too perfect. Like it's just too obvious.
It would require there being a true higher power in charge of this whole thing. Running this civilization we live in.
Yeah, and I don't think we can get that lucky at this point in time. We just got to get through one game at a time.
God left this place a long time ago.
Yeah, it's like we just got to get through this one game at a time, and then the rest of it will fall into place. That's the only way you got to look at it. Somebody was asking about the names in our tournament bracket challenge, and if anybody has an early lead on the best name. I haven't had a chance to really look at all the names, to be
Bill
honest.
Ford Tough has my vote.
Yeah.
But I didn't look through all of them today. I looked through all of them like the other day. I don't know if I saw anything that really like caught my attention, but if you feel like you're a candidate, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta see, I could keep trying to find the bracket challenge, and I can't for some reasons. My logins are not there. So, but it's okay. We'll figure that one out. And I'm sure that it's like fantasy football names. You got to come up with a big name, and it's always going to make us chuckle for that. So, Robert Hurst says, 2 of my grandkids called me today to tell me that they had Urban picked to win it all. I was like, I've never heard of Urban, but come to find out they're talking about Auburn. I laughed so hard. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, Robert Hurst was the one that had the calamari comment. He had a little autocorrect in the comment the other day where he said something about Calipari, but he said calamari, and it really made me laugh.
I love that. Ice Cold Mint Julep apparently I assume this is ours, but did the hard work for us. This is bracket update. Aubie had 43 picks.
215 picked Florida?
215. Then Duke with 66, Houston with 48, and Arkansas had 12. Bam had 10. Keep up the good work. We picked Suey.
Okay.
Did you go through and count all of these Ice Cold Mint Julep? Because if so, that's crazy.
It's good work.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah.
215. That's like half the brackets. Picked Florida. I like Florida. I mean, I picked them to win, and we picked them to win in our Inside Arkansas one. I don't know if they're like that overwhelming of a favorite.
I wouldn't consider them that, but people feel a certain way about Florida and the way that they've been playing and the bigs that they have and all of that. So maybe there's a little something to it. But
huge three for Purdue. They were starting to creep down. They got down to 6 again, and then they just hit a huge three, 59-50.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll here live at Snookers in Providence. Let's go ahead and get into some of the specials here with BetSaracen. It's the #1 sports betting app here in the state of Arkansas. Appreciate their support here and making it all possible. You can download the app on your iPhone or on your Android, or you can go to BetSaracen.com and check it out there as well. Of course, they always had specials on NCAA tournament games all year long, or NCAA college basketball. That's what I mean. They got it all for Arkansas especially, but now with the tournament starting up, they got even more going in there. But some interesting odds. They have a match winner and player points combined special, which is pretty fun.
I love that.
And, for instance, if for Arkansas to win and John L. Davis to score 15-plus points, it's plus 350.
Oof, I love that.
Yeah. Or how about if Arkansas was to win and DJ Wagner goes for 20-plus points, plus 1,600.
Wow.
Oof. Man, I might dabble with a little bit
Didn't
of
he
that.
have 20 on him in the exhibition? More than 20?
Something like
DJ,
that.
I think
yeah.
so.
He hit a few threes for
Yeah.
sure.
So let's see. Also, Arkansas to win, and even if DJ Wagner scores 15-plus points, that's still plus 600. So you could
I like that.
You could, if you're feeling good about one particular player, to go out there and be the leading scorer, or not even leading scorer, just score that amount of points.
Well, I mean, look, Arkansas's like plus 180 in this game. They're a pretty solid underdog. For as much as like we keep talking about like the narrative and how we feel and all that, publicly, Arkansas's not getting a ton of respect on the line. So if you think Arkansas is going to win, one of those specials would have to be the way to do it. Because, I mean, Arkansas's plus 180 is what's affecting those odds a good bit. A few of the specials that I was just looking at that I really like. I'm a sucker for the Nelly Davis one all the time. Plus 500, Nelly Davis, over 2.5 steals, over 1.5 assists. 3 steals. He's had like 15 games where he's like rattled off multiple steals.
Yeah.
I could totally see him getting 3 steals and then 2 assists. I mean,
it's no big deal.
If he's out there for 30 minutes, he'll get 2 assists. Curtis, you think 3J Wagner's making an appearance today?
I think so.
Over 5.5 attempts from 3, over 2.5 makes from 3. So you just got to go at least 3 for, he can go 3 for 9 if he wants. Plus 475 for DJ Wagner.
Man, that's tough.
Three's a lot. But
3's a lot of threes, and 6 attempts is a lot too.
Plus 475 is not bad though.
Yeah. How about Big Z over 1.5 block shots and over 10.5 field goals attempted?
I don't think he's attempting 11 field goals unless he just really gets hot. But who knows?
Yeah. Plus 550. So I mean, it's a pretty high number there.
I mean, he's done that, and we'll know within the first 5 minutes if he's got a chance at it.
Well, the highest odds though at plus 75. DJ Wagner over 3.5 assists and over 1.5 steals.
Huh.
That's plus 575. I kind of like that too.
Dang.
But yeah. So those are just one of the few, or many of the few specials that you can have. Who scores the first points tonight, boys, for Arkansas?
DJ.
Yeah, my answer stays the same.
It's plus always 275.
It's always DJ Wagner, no matter what. You speaking of those match winner ones. The DJ to score 15 and Arkansas to win at plus 600. That should be like plus 250.
I'll say you should bet on it and win a bunch of money. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, peek behind the curtain. We are not in the state of Arkansas. We cannot bet on these.
So these are up to you guys in the state.
Y'all are going to have to win the money for us.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, first, who's going to hit the first 3?
Also, DJ.
It's going to be the same exact shot.
Plus 325. He's higher than Nelly Davis at 210, and he's also higher than Brazil at plus 300.
Wow.
So, yeah. Carter Knox at plus 550 in there. Who do you think is the this will be the final special. Who do you think is going to be the one that gets a double-double if Arkansas gets a double-double?
It's hard to go against Jonas at this point.
Plus 450.
Trevin.
Trevin Brazil's plus 260. Adu's plus 450.
I would do the Adu one.
I would too.
Although I mean, you like you said, Jonas didn't necessarily. What do you have? 8 rebounds in that game against, or no, it was 11
rebounds, 8
in
points.
that game.
Yeah.
Trevin's rebounding has been pretty consistent. Like I really like the way he rebounds the ball, but Jonas feels like the safer option there.
I would think so. But yeah, between all of that and all the other specials they have going on for the NCAA tournament, and your specials, your in games, your parlays. Someone was asking about my 9-leg parlay so far. I'll let you know after a few of these games that was involved in it finish, and I'll let you know on it. Oh, jeez.
High Point has cut it to 3.
Dude,
I would be so fired up if High Point won.
Oh yeah, I'd love that. Where is High Point?
North Carolina. It's one of the 3,000 schools in the state of North Carolina.
Didn't Arkansas play them a couple years ago, maybe last year?
I feel like they've played High Point before. They played a lot of North Carolina schools.
That's what I was thinking. I feel like they just played every North Carolina school known to man.
Braden Smith.
Foul? They call him foul?
Wow, that was dumb.
Missed the bunny and then fouled. Is he frustrated?
Must be.
Now he's about to miss this 1-1 though.
Well, Creighton officially beats Louisville 89-75, and the Blue Jays are moving on.
I got a
into
question
the
for you
NCAA
guys.
tournament.
So apparently, according to Canon C, one person picked Kentucky as the winner in our tournament challenge. Find this a-hole. Find him. I mean, it's got to be a Kentucky fan,
Cats
right?
by 90?
It's probably
Cats by 90.
I'm actually surprised there weren't more, just considering how much of BBN is on our jocks.
Arkansas and High Point have played one time in 2013.
Oh.
Arkansas won by 41.
Love that.
Yeah, I remember that game. It's a great game.
I remember Arkansas having an absolute dogfight with Robert Morris one year.
Bobby Portis 16-9. Good Lord. Cody Clark had 11. Michael Qualls had a dozen. Moses Kingsley had a dozen. Anthon Bell had 11.
They emptied the bench in that one, eh?
Yeah.
Dude, even D.D. Wagner got in on some action.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Alexandria's finest? Come on.
Is that where he's from?
Oh, yeah. He went to Peabody High School in Alexandria.
Oh. See, I didn't know.
He was on a high school team that they had this kid, Markel Brown, that went to Oklahoma State. They had another kid that went D1. His high school team, D. Wagner's Arkansas career, did not pan out. You know where he finished his college career? LSUA, where I graduated from. Yeah, he finishes. Which LSUA basketball is nasty.
Yeah, they are.
And I mean, having D. Wagner, I mean, obviously he stunk at Arkansas, very overqualified for that level.
Yeah.
LSUA had just started their basketball program when I was coaching, and they had this dude. I think his last name was Cordero. Their coach.
He's still their coach.
5'4". Like he's like Eric Musselman height dude. And he's good though. But he's
such
crazy.
a good coach, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know that was a thing. I just remember D.D. Wagner.
Well, you're not tapped in on NAIA basketball,
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Well, let me tell you about John Brown over in Salem Springs.
Yeah. Hey, listen, D.D. Wagner was the starter against the Syracuse Orangemen when they came to town that year. And that kind of shows you exactly maybe why the Arkansas lost that game. James Sutherland went for 35 points on 9 of 13 from 3. Not that I remember.
Sutherland was good, man.
Not that I remember that or anything.
Syracuse used to be one of my favorite programs to
I've
watch.
always hated Syracuse.
2-3 zone, love it.
Jim Boeheim just always did not like the dude. Just did not like him.
High Points ran out of gas, man. They're done.
Yeah, now it's
missing that front end of the 1-on-1 ended it.
7-point game going on.
Yeah.
That's another thing, too.
There's got to be a
That has to be. That has to be him. I'd say there's nobody that came with more energy than that guy.
That's the biggest smile I've ever seen. I love it. That just made me happy, man.
That's kind of the cool thing about, I mean, obviously us being here in Providence, but, there's so many Razorback fans across the country that, like listen to us or hang out with us in our streams and everything. So it's kind of cool to see them in person when they come out and for these events and where we go and whatnot. It's really cool to see that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't know how many, say if they go to San Francisco, I don't know how many Razorback fans are going to be traveling there, but I know that there's a lot of fans that live in California that are going to be making the trip.
California Hogs for sure.
Yeah, so it's always cool to be here to have the Razorback fans, which there's quite a few of them still here hanging out at SNOOKERS. Got some at the bar, hopefully getting their bets on and able to win some money there. We'll see, but this has been fun though. It's been fun starting the day off strong with the NCAA tournament games here at SNOOKERS. Houston's doubling up SIUE. Keep wanting to say SUI. But I don't know why, but I keep wanting to say, I remember IUPUI? Always say that. I always thought that was a kid. That was the weirdest name. I'm like, how can you have
Fort
that?
Wayne?
Yeah, because isn't it Indiana
University,
State, Purdue University?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis? Ew. That's so dumb. But anyway, that's honestly what the NCAA tournament is always cool too, is you get to find out and learn about schools you never knew existed. Like Florida Gulf Coast with Dunk City or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember they talked about that they just established a school like 10 years prior, and their enrollment went up 350% after the NCAA tournament. And I never would have known what Gonzaga is if it wasn't for the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, it's been great, though, to start off here and seen a few games getting close to concluding. Hoping for a buzzer beater today. We kind of got one in the very first game of the play-in games, but
yeah. Although I guess it beat the buzzer pretty easily.
Yeah, it did. It did. It's a great pass there too. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm going to be curious to see what the Razorback turnout is. I feel like Kansas fans are probably going to have more fans. Let's just be honest. But it's okay. You know, there's Kansas fans. It's a big program. They'll be all there too. So we'll see a lot of Kansas fans. I'm sure they remember the one from a couple years ago. They're wanting revenge there, but it should be great.
Been a Kansas fan over my right shoulder this whole show, but they're done. They're
out of there.
Yeah.
Are they actually Kansas fans, or are they just we like them because they're good at basketball?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest question.
I should have brought my shirt. You know, I got that shirt that says straight out of Kansas, bitch, I'm a Jayhawk.
Yeah.
I should have brought it. I literally saw it in my closet the other day. Damn it, Purdue really got the job done, didn't they?
Yeah, they're up by 10 now with 4 minutes to go. Hate to see it. Still some time, though. Still some time.
Unbelievable.
I will say I tweeted this out, too. And
I need High Point covering 8. That's all. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they'll get there. They'll get there. All it takes is a couple threes here.
This is the worst-case scenario, Curtis, because they've been within 8 literally the entire game.
Yeah, I know.
And now they're about to kind of screw it.
Yeah. I will say, though, that I was talking about with Arkansas and Kansas. People always say, why is Arkansas sound weird compared to Kansas? Well, let me just tell you. Arkansas was an established state in the United States as the 25th state. Kansas is the 31st state. So I feel like Kansas is the one that's weird by saying it's Kansas. It should be Kansas.
Yeah.
Or Kansas instead of Arkansas the other way around. So it's always been bothersome to me anytime Arkansas plays Kansas, which they have in football and basketball. Have they played in baseball? I feel like there's been a time they've played Kansas in baseball randomly.
I can't think of one. The only thing I can think of is Kansas has sent a few players their way. I mean, Stone Hewlett, Tavian Josenberger, Jack Wagner, who we threw back shots at. There's been a lot of Jayhawks.
Don't put we in this. You're the one that got called out for it.
Sorry. Yeah, it was just me that was giving Jack Wagner back shots.
Man, I think it's...
By the way, the internet has no idea about this.
Some do, but some don't.
Sound like Iraq, bro.
Yeah. No. Jack Wagner, was it? We were at Tin Roof last year. Just comes up and pressed me. It was just like, "Hey, man, you've been giving me back shots on Twitter," and I'm like, "What? What does that mean?" I think he had me confused with someone else.
I hope
but we reference it all the time because he used the term back shots. You just don't hear that much. Like,
that was the first time I ever heard that term.
Throwing shade or you're subtweeting me. You're doing. Throwing back shots at me.
Yeah, well, you know the kids these days, what they talk about. But hey, you're not the only one that's had something like that happen to coming up to you and getting after you for something that you actually didn't really do on Twitter. Because I had that recently happen to me. Somebody thought that I was just apparently ripping Nellie Davis right and left on social media, and I wasn't. So I think they got confused me with somebody. Just kind of like you got
wrong Arkansas personality there.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone who dislikes us is wrong. Like, I think we've established that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you're mad at us, you're wrong. That's just what the moral of the story is. If you're mad at us, you're wrong. So, man, everybody is taking the comments of back shots a little bit.
There's no other way to take it. I mean, even when you provide context.
How did you come to this conclusion, Caleb? I got to ask. How did you come to that conclusion?
I don't know if we need to go down that road just yet into what we got going on here, but it's been a wild thing though here in Providence.
Crazy talk, bro. Crazy
We've seen, we're not going to say what it was, but us three saw something pretty wild yesterday at our Airbnb. We're not going to say what, but we saw something pretty wild, and I feel like that was the start of something beautiful here in Providence.
I thought that's where Andrew wound up this morning when I walked out of my room there, and I was like, "Where?" He
wasn't there.
No, so John. So here's what happened.
We can tell the story.
So our bathroom door doesn't close.
It does not.
That's just a thing. And so when I went to the bathroom this morning, I thought the light was on, and so I was like, "Curtis, are you in there?" And he was like, "No, I'm good." And so I went in there and used the bathroom, and Curtis thought I was you. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so then when he got out of his room, he saw the living room, saw I was not in there, and he's like, "Dude, where did Andrew go?" Like, he's not in here. Did you take it? Where did Andrew go?
I literally went
like,
back by the bathroom and I was talking to you. And I was like, "Are you sure Andrew's not in there with you?" I was like, "He disappeared." I don't know where the hell he is.
I'm in here. Like I said, I was going to be.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense of why you said that you thought Andrew was me or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was your voice.
No, because you should know better. Because I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to bust open the door and go take a week wherever I find a drain, and then this is going to be the way it is. So yeah, good to know that. Had those those confusions here this morning.
I was just glad to know that that Andrew was still with us.
Yeah.
I was legitimately like, okay, where could he possibly be? And I had no answer. I thought maybe he was on a heated phone call or something and went outside. I just didn't know. I went out and looked on the little balcony thing that we haven't gotten out on yet.
I didn't know
You know what I was doing though, Curtis? I was getting dialed in for the Bombastic podcast, which I recorded. Which, by the way, just a little self plug. As soon as this show ends, or around this, at about 2:00 Central Time for you guys, a Bombastic preview will be out. There's no better time to drop a baseball preview than 4 hours before an NCAA basketball tournament game. But I had to get it out. We got to do what we got to do. Arkansas is whipping that ass to South Carolina this weekend, regardless of what happens tonight. We're going to be dialed in on that. Tomorrow would be cool because we actually get to watch baseball and, like, I'll be watching basketball too, but, like, there won't be anything crazy going on at night.
Yeah, exactly. If Arkansas wins, I guess we'll get a practice in a locker room again, but it's like an
during
hour.
The day, right?
Yeah, during the day, earlier in the day. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out because that's the thing is with our schedule for tomorrow and even for Saturday, it all very much depends on Arkansas' success or lack of success tonight against Kansas. So we'll try to keep everybody updated on what our schedule looks like. But we do know that we're going to be, of course, having Inside Arkansas live tomorrow at some point here at Snookers once again. So we're looking forward to tapping in with that. And we'll have all the great content for you. Of course, Spot at the Palace will go live after the game tonight and give all the fresh reactions, which I'm sure nobody will be over dramatic to it, whether it's a win or lose. And also, Bombastic's coming out today with a preview. So, yeah, we got it all. We got it all covered here, right here at Inside Arkansas. And we really appreciate Snookers for having us out here. And it's a great spot to watch games. Plenty of TVs, plenty of great food. Pretty sure the beer's cold. So, this is the place to do it. So, fellas, any final thoughts before we get out of here for the day from Snookers?
I think we just had an unbiased brim sighting. I think we did.
No, we did. We definitely did.
I think we did.
There's no doubt about it. It was definitely unbiased brim.
There we go.
The only question was whether or not we were going to. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, there. Okay.
We were gonna bring him out. He's gonna spit some takes for us. But no, I don't have any final thoughts other than Woo Pig. We're whipping that ass tonight. Make sure you're tapped in with all our content, and also just give the Bombastic a courtesy little listen. You got time to kill. You got 4.5 hours to kill before the
man's
game.
here at the NCAA tournament. He's cranking out the baseball.
John's
pods.
in this video also because he was
I know
walking
I would
around.
be.
He was walking around a couple times, and he just would pop up. And I saw it.
I'm sure nobody will screen grab anything.
No. Well, at least I think I had my shirt on for the most part, so that's important. But
it's funny, man. Well, my only final thought is enjoy the game, embrace it. Be excited, Woo Pig. Pot at the Palace post-game show, just another reminder. It will not be immediately following the game like it typically is because we got to walk over to our spot. And if you're in town, Union Station Brewing, after the fact, meet us out there. Come hang out. We're going to be in a corner posted up doing the post-game show. But give us a little bit of time afterwards so we can get over there and get everything set up, and then we'll get rolling.
All right. And I said final thoughts, but hey, just real quick. Final score prediction.
79-74 Arkansas Razorbacks.
I'm going to go 75-72 Arkansas Razorbacks, and I will remind everyone that the last time these teams played in the NCAA tournament, I predicted the exact score.
So basically, I don't even.
And
need
I didn't even realize
prediction.
I did it, but somebody screenshot it and put it out there, and I went semi-viral for it. It was awesome.
There you go.
It was the highlight of my life up to that point.
There you go. Well, I'm going to go with the Razorbacks winning. But I think, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say the Razorbacks win 80-68.
Wow.
Okay.
The Razorbacks get a 12-point victory.
Borderline belt ass.
Mm-hmm. I think they get up big there in the second half, maybe alleviate a little bit, but they get a double-digit lead and keep it and win it by 12 tonight.
Interesting.
So that's what I'm going to go with. But everybody, we appreciate you so much for tapping in with us here at Inside Arkansas. Be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube, as well as subscribe to us on social media at Inside Arkansas. Check out our website, InsideArkansas.com. You can also follow our podcast wherever podcasts are found. Whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pot at the Palace, Bombastic Podcast, it's going to be a great day and a great time up here in Providence, and we appreciate all your support and all of our sponsors for making it possible. So for Andrew Ellis and Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Tomorrow afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you at Pot at the Palace postgame show following Arkansas and Kansas tonight.